Hi. We were just talking about gas. Sally's
How
got a lot
efficient it is.
Sally has efficient gas. Hey, it's Thursday night.
Good morning.
See, we've lost control already. 2 seconds in. Sally's there. Tom is there. And we're hanging out.
Maybe
Tom,
not.
Maybe not what?
Remember, I just want to see if like someone's on, because remember how that one time it just said live without the amount of people over it and it wasn't on?
Yeah. You think
I just want to double check.
You think it's not working?
What a good intro.
I know, right?
We were onto it.
Nope, we are live.
Oh, we are.
Sorry for the big scare.
Oh,
and
so-
welcome, Tom.
It was a good intro.
So you leave it to Sally. Damn it. Well, yeah, speaking of high, Tom is part of a Grateful Dead band.
High on life.
That's right. Tom, all right, we'll get right. Tom is a musician, as you can see. Half Step is the Grateful Dead tribute band that he's the big guy in. We just had the pleasure of seeing Tom the other night. He played here on Long Island at a place called The Space. If you watched us, what was that, last summer I think it was? We actually did a show from The Space. Good old Jeff Siegel over there. He gave us a tour of The Space, and we were walking around. Great place, that Space.
Yes, it is.
It's right on base. I don't know. But we, so yeah, they did a show the other night. They have an annual event that they do there where they recreate the George Harrison's concert for Bangladesh. If, I don't know, for all you Beatle people out there, before Live Aid, before all those charity concerts, before No Nukes and all that stuff, the first one was Bangladesh, an all-star concert to help the people of Bangladesh with their famine. Eric Clapton, George Harrison, Ringo Starr, Billy Preston, Bob Dylan, Leon Russell, Badfinger, if you know who that is. Lots of great people, great concert. So they recreated every year. Wonder Stories. Kenny Forgione, who was also on the show once.
Hey, Kenny.
He played right back here. He played for us. Wonder Stories is his band, and they very popular band here on the island, one of the biggest. And they, it's really their show, and then they have people joining them on stage all night. They have special guests. Usually they have one or two people from Paul McCartney's former band Wings actually join them. This year they had Gene Cornish from the Rascals, remembers the Rascals? Mm-hmm. Good Lovin' and all that good stuff. What's my... Oh, so Tom was a part of that. We got to watch that. Although I do have an issue.
Uh-huh.
I have an issue with this show, Tom San Filippo.
Jesse, come on. I don't know if I'm the guy to talk to about that.
Well, no, you are.
Let me hear it.
You
You can vent to me.
Thank you, Father Tom.
Okay.
My issue is, it has to do with you.
No.
Because you're Tom San Filippo, damn it. You're a guitarist extraordinaire.
Yeah.
But, which we all know. Yet, at this concert, they stick you, in a corner, hiding behind other people, just doing background vocals. Meanwhile, Frank Walker gets to stand there holding a guitar all night. What's
Brother
that?
Frank. Brother Frank.
However, I spotted you on the stage.
Yeah.
You did.
I did. I was like, that's Tom. And you're like, really, is it? And then you
Well,
look,
there's
you're like,
certainly no
that
shortage
is.
of amazing guitar players on that stage.
Yes, that is true.
So
that is true, but still, it's
not. I wasn't. I didn't sign on to be the guitar player. I'm grateful enough to play a little guitar on the show.
Was that a pun? Pun intended? Grateful?
It's just part of my nature. I don't know.
He's good.
Yes.
Reese Clark is watching.
Who is?
Reese Clark.
Reese Clark is watching. Do you know who Reese Clark is?
I don't.
Reese Clark is a drummer. He played on. He used to play with Billy Joel. He was before Liberty, and when Billy was still just coming up. Reese, what do you want? You're on the Cold Spring Harbor album. I think you play on Captain Jack.
Was he in the Hassles?
He was not in the Hassles. He was when Billy first went solo. His first solo album, Reese was on, and I think he was just on Piano Man, which is Billy's second album. I think he just played on Captain Jack, but then I believe he's on more of Billy's third album, if I remember right. But we had the pleasure of meeting Reese once. Very nice man.
A couple times.
Thanks for tuning in, Reese.
And speaking of Captain Jack's watching.
Captain Jack himself, the Captain Jack. He's a friend of ours.
All right.
We're big Billy Joel heads here.
We'll get you high tonight.
Mike Stutz said, I thought I was watching myself for a second. Because he's got the same hair as you.
He does. He does. But he rocks it much better than Mike.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Mike.
I'm always picking on Mike. Poor Mike. Mike Stutz. Hi, Mike. Hi, Mike. Hi, Jack.
Melissa
Boylo. Hello, Melissa. Nice to see you. Melissa's coming down here. Melissa, as we all know, hosts a Billy Joel radio show on WVOA up there in Syracuse. She's coming down at the end of the month, so we're going to hang out with her. That'll be fun. So you're just a backup singer at that show, which surprises me. And I'm just teasing about Frank.
Did you go to the bathroom during the Bob Dylan set?
I did not. Oh, that's right. So you did play guitar, and he did cover a lot of
I mean, I would expect that's probably a bathroom time of the night where people would.
I thought you sang 2 songs.
Well, he did a lot of the Dylan, but during the Harrison portion, he sang "Beware of Darkness," and was there another one or no?
Just in the Dylan set, I sing Bob Dylan's "Blowing in the Wind" and play guitar throughout the set of that thing there.
Which, I was surprised that was the bathroom break for people, because
especially it was right before the intermission. Had they known,
right? But. I mean, people make the jokes about Dylan's voice and stuff, but those songs.
Well, Tommy does a great job. He's not singing it like Dylan, thankfully.
Well, right. But all you guys did a great job. But what was that? His wife that was there too with you guys, right?
Holly.
I like when other people sing Dylan songs, and I'm not making fun because I just get to hear the words.
Right, they played Mr. Tambourine Man, Just Like a Woman, Blowing in the Wind, right? And what was the fourth?
Hard Rain's Gonna Fall.
Right, I mean, those are great Dylan songs.
Takes a Train to Laugh.
Oh, that's right, I forgot about that. So I'm surprised that it was unfortunate.
One of those. I got this lexicon.
Samantha Walker's watching.
Oh, is she? Mm-hmm. Hey, baby.
Eric Fellon.
Wow.
Awesome. Now, one of my peeps. That's okay.
Oh, you know what?
Maybe
you want me to share it to you?
Please do.
Yeah, that'd be great. It was a great concert. I loved it. Again,
they do a great job. Every year we throw that together with 1 or 2 rehearsals.
That's it, huh?
And then we'll have one dress rehearsal open to the public at KJ Farrell's, which is kind of fun. It spreads out into the bar. They can't fit everybody on the stage.
It's impossible. How long you've been involved in it?
Every year they've done it.
Oh, really? All 8, right? 8?
All 8. Yeah.
Wow, very nice.
Really?
It started at BB King's, and then from BB King's we went to the Highline Ballroom.
Oh, that's nice.
And then found a home at the Space, which I think will be a tradition there now. Because why wouldn't it be?
Absolutely.
Local crowd sells out.
Oh yeah, it really did. It sells out, and it's a good crowd. It's a fun crowd, full of Beatle maniacs like myself.
I'm used to a whole dance floor when I play there with Half Step. So when we do that production, to see the seats just feels so different. Like they're just placed with tape letters on the floor.
Right. So so when you guys play there, they leave it open for all the
twirlers.
Is that what they call twirlers?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I was just deadheads. That's all I thought. And the whole floor, there's not even seats towards the back of the floor.
No, they have the loge and then.
Right. But on the floor, it's completely
wide open for going crazy. Shaking
Maria
your bones.
Gilliberti Strict says hello.
Oh, hey, Maria!
There's one of your peeps right there.
There we go.
All right, now they're
diehard peep.
There they are. Diehard peep.
She is.
Here they come.
Her husband Bob come to all my shows.
Nice.
Hey guys.
That's cool. And I guess, it makes sense to have a Grateful Dead tribute band. Again, Half Step, they're called Grateful Dead tribute band, because they were huge. So it makes sense, and especially, I don't know, especially now, because they still come around as the Dead once a year or so, but they're very sporadic. So I would think a lot of those people that wanted, because the Dead themselves, they used to come around a lot.
3 times a year.
Well,
at least on the East Coast, they did every season, but
yeah,
they'd stay out in California for the Christmas, New Year's stuff. But yeah, they have the summer tour, the fall tour, spring tour.
I actually thought it was more than that, but yeah.
Tony, have you ever been to a Grateful Dead concert?
No, I never have. I actually, regretfully.
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 It was close.
No, because I'm not a Deadhead or anything like that, and I don't know everything.
They don't
but you enjoy them.
Are you a Deadhead?
Well, that's the thing. I don't. I
used to bring friends of mine that would be AC/DC fans or Rush fans, and say, "Come, check it out. If you don't like it, it's like, how can you say you don't like it if you don't try it?"
Exactly. Well, that's why I actually wish I did see them, because I thought they were excellent musicians. I don't know a lot. I know. Of course, I know the hits, and I know some album cuts. I'm a deep cut guy, no matter what band. I love listening to deep cuts. So I know more than you're just a casual Grateful Dead fan, but I don't know everything. But I know them enough and like them enough that I would have liked to have seen them. So I wish And Jerry especially, what a great guitar player.
Lynn Riley said to tailgate with us in June.
Oh yeah, where? What? City Field?
Yeah, I guess that's what it.
Does Lynn? I guess she follows you around.
Sometimes I see her in the crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's where I was going. So these deadheads, is that a derogatory term? Is that like an insult, or do they call themselves deadheads? I don't even know.
No, that they were coined that back in the early '70s.
Right, but I didn't know at this point because a lot of people.
Well, now deadheads can be your doctor or your accountant or.
Imagine that.
I mean, I get my taxes done. My accountant's blasting a Sirius radio station, and
That's great.
you know it's. Cool. I guess over time it's just become dead fan again.
Okay.
A lot of people nowadays will just say, "I'm a big Dead fan," and I'm surprised. I say to myself, "Well, when you just say Deadhead, I would know what you mean." You know?
Right. Exactly.
But,
yeah.
It's almost like I guess you're really admitting you have a problem if you say you're a Deadhead.
So a lot of them, I guess they get their. You're filling that void that since they don't come around as much anymore, right? Well,
yeah. I mean, it's a kind of music that I guess it's always different. It always has a life of its own, and for the bands out there doing it like my band and others, we either try to really capture the essence of it or take it somewhere it hasn't gone before. But for the most part, the music itself, it's addicting for the people who like it, and. The music is one facet to it. The rest is the crowd. You know, the whole gathering of community that people look forward to. Maria, speaking of, she met a bunch of people through coming to my shows that now they're tight, lifelong friends, just because they were brought together by the common, thread of seeing the music and then realizing, oh wow, we used to go to shows. You went to that show too. We could have been sitting 2 feet away from each other 25, 30 years ago, and so it's kind of cool that it gives me that opportunity to bring these people together in the years after the music's.
We've actually talked about that a few times here, because I that is something people always, especially our age. You look like you're around our age somewhere. You, what 40?
Probably younger. He's younger.
He's younger than us.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
Late 30s. That's awesome.
Well, if you're thinking that, that's.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking like early 40s.
Early 40s?
Oh, you guys are great.
Really? You're that old? You look really young.
All right. Well, you're around our age somewhere. I'll be 49 next month. She's 52.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Wow. Yes, I
We're
would.
the same age.
Wow, I wouldn't have guessed that.
Thank you for that early 40s.
I really did.
I like that.
And I wasn't sure at first. The reactions like, oh shit, did I go too old? Oh shit, poor bastard. So that's the thing. People our age, you talk about social media, and a lot of people our age will roll their eyes. They think it's for kids or something, or they just get negative. All the political posts, I can't stand it. Personally, I'm thinking you just freaking keep scrolling. Who cares? But that's something we talk about. One of the positives, because like you said, whether it's a music, whether it's a band or a TV show or whatever it is, you can find groups on Facebook of people who like it. In fact, The Sopranos, all sorts of different things. Like our friend Joey Cola, he does butterflies, and he finds butterfly groups and whatnot.
It's easy to do. You create a page, and then you find people who like it.
And people are coming from all over the world. Somehow they find these things, and it's, to me, that's great. Like you said, all these people come together. We, like I said, we end up talking about Billy Joel all the time on this show, but we're big Billy Joel fans, and we've met people from all over the world at Billy Joel shows or Billy Joel related shows. So when you talk about the people that have gained friendships from you, we know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, lifelong friends of people of common interests.
And it really is a cool thing. I know it may sound a little weird or corny, but it really is cool. It's nice to make these friends and have this common bond, I guess, and I think it's great. I mean, a lot of people we hang out with now are people that we've gotten to know. You've known my brother for probably years, I'm assuming. Right. We never would have met if it wasn't for social media. So I love that stuff.
Yeah, me too.
It's a handy vehicle for advertising and promotion.
Yeah, that's for sure.
It's also, it gets a little bit monotonous when people are just going to voice their opinions when people aren't really interested.
Right, absolutely right. Well, that's what I say. You just keep scrolling. Look for the funny stuff. Look for the half-step videos. All right, so why the great?
Speaking of which, we
Yes.
do have a YouTube channel with
Ah,
100 at least videos of us doing whatever. So you can check that out on YouTube.
How many people are in your band?
We're a 6-piece,
Do you
sometimes
like
7.
stay really like true to the Grateful Dead? Like,
Yeah.
does everyone dress like? Is there a certain person playing a certain role?
Nah, there's really no we don't have the Beatle wigs and stuff. I guess I'm like, ironically, I have kind of a mop that could pass.
this was kind of it is a Jerry thing going, but but you didn't do that on purpose, right? This is
No.
just your look.
It's my
Yeah.
look.
It just happens to be the Jerry.
And fortunately, they weren't wearing anything special, so
Yeah,
I could go on stage with jeans and a t-shirt, and hey, I'm in costume.
Yeah.
Well, look at him; he's amazing.
Yeah. That's the other beauty of being in a tribute band, where these guys were just so anti showbiz,
Mm-hmm.
and it makes it exciting musically because you just have to almost put your head around a certain language of playing the music.
Sure.
It's not right out of the box where you're learning a track off an album and do exactly what the album does and say,
Right.
okay, let's do this every night this way. With the Dead, they did it different every night, so you kind of have to lasso all that in and just kind of use your intuitions to say, well, would they go here? They wouldn't go that far, but they would do something like this here. And then you kind of build a vocabulary musically. And in that sense, everyone in the band does have a role, because the Dead did have a very specific ensemble. They all kind of didn't step on each other musically,
Yeah.
and they listened to one another, and they would feed off each other and then feed off the crowd. So there was all those elements to the music. It wasn't just a complete arrangement that you had to memorize.
I would think as a musician that must be very freeing, especially in this day and age here on Long Island, where tribute bands are so huge. Like a Beatle band, the fan, and I don't mean this as a negative thing, but Beatle fans, they want to hear it note for note.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want extended extended jam at the end of Roll Over Beethoven. They want the
Right.
2 minutes and 30 seconds or whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
note for note. Singing the same melody, same notes, no stretching.
And they're under great scrutiny because everyone knows the music so intimately.
Right. Right.
And then they're forced to have to speak in English accents and wear the wigs and run behind the set and come out in Sgt. Pepper suits. And I commend anyone who's going to go down that route. I mean, I do a Beatle thing with Ed Ryan and his band once in a while. In fact, we're doing something at KJ Farrell's in April, which is a Sunday afternoon. Nice thing to do, Beatle music in the afternoon.
Nice.
Yeah, that is really fun there.
But we love the music enough and we know it well enough, but really painstakingly try to get the exact timbre of the voices. And,
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. So that's what I mean. So for you guys can, because that is how the Dead did it. Some 20-minute jams on one song. So you guys get the freedom to.
Yes, and it's expression in the moment, but staying within the parameters of their style, I guess. So it's an exciting thing to do, actually.
Do you ever get the hardcore fans that'll come up to you and say, can you? Because like you said, they played so many songs, so many different ways. Do you get people coming to you like, can you play, Let It Grow from, the way they played it in the Oakland Coliseum in 1973? Do you get like those real hardcore?
We definitely get hardcore fans that would pick up on stuff like certain years in a certain part of a song they would jam into this different chord change.
And these
I'll
guys
give you,
pick up
for
on
instance,
that, huh?
there's a transition from China Cat Sunflower into I Know You Rider, where in the mid 70s or early 70s, they would do the melody of Feeling Groovy.
Oh, sure.
Hello, lamppost, what you know.
Yeah.
So
Paul Simon.
if we happen to be doing that one night and we're feeling kind of 73-ish,
Feeling groovy.
Yeah.
74-ish, we'll sneak that in there. And then it's fun to look out in the crowd and see the guys that get it. In fact, we did it last weekend, and somebody put it in the set listing, in parentheses, Feeling Groovy Jam.
Wow.
So that's kind of cool to
cool.
give them those Easter eggs that they might be like, oh, yeah. It's rare that anyone will come up and just be like, can you play like Buffalo 89 exactly? It's kind of needle in a haystack.
That's one thing about the Dead. Like, I don't know how people keep up with them. I mean, there's such a huge catalog. And then if you throw in their other projects, which I don't know if you guys do, but the Jerry Garcia Band, and I mean there's just so much, and then all the live releases too. I mean, I don't. Who's put out more live albums than the Grateful Dead?
I know.
Maybe the Who, but
Well,
I don't think they
I
come
also
close
play
though.
in Tiger Rose, which is a Jerry Garcia band tribute.
oh, okay.
So
Wow.
yeah, so I shuffle my schedule around playing Grateful Dead music and then playing Jerry Garcia music, and his solo project was primarily covers that he liked to play.
Okay.
So he'd pull out, some Bob Marley or some Jimmy Cliff, or then we'll do some Clapton or a lot of Bob Dylan.
Sure.
He'll put some band songs in there. Even old Motown, Smokey Robinson.
Oh, really?
The way you do the things you do, how sweet it is.
Really?
So there's a lot of.
I'd have to look that up. I never heard Jerry do those.
It's very psychedelic. I mean, Jerry was just really being like a blues, rhythm and blues, reggae, funk, different lineup. He had 2 girl singers. He had just one guitar. I don't know if that was his way of just saying he needed more space when he wasn't playing with Bob Weir. But that whole catalog, I'm still learning. There's always, hey, can you guys do that? And it's like, oh, really? He did that too? And then you go on YouTube and you hear 4 or 5 different versions throughout 30 years worth of playing the song,
Right.
where it's different, every one. It's like, do we do it this way? Or do we do it this way? Or do we do it this? Depending on what year and what mood or what drugs he was on, who knows? The song would evolve completely over the spectrum.
Yeah.
So now, as a band, we have to decide, well, which one of these versions do we look at as our starting point, and then put our own 2 cents in.
I don't know. Did these guys ever stay home? I mean, it just seems like they were nonstop. These guys.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
People are asking for him to play something.
Oh, okay. You want to play something?
Sure. Am I going to wake the neighbors?
Nope. Go for it.
What should I play?
Whatever you would like.
Any requests, Facebook people?
Is it? Well, I don't know if this could be done acoustically, but I'm going deep track. Well, maybe deep track, but one of my favorites is West LA Fadeaway. Is that something you could do acoustically?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't jam like a jam man, but I'll do my best here.
Unless you don't have to. There's something else you'd rather do.
Looking for a chateau, 21 rooms, but one will do. Looking for a chateau, 21 rooms, but one will do. I don't want to buy it, I just want to rent it for an hour or 2. Made an old mistake walking down the street today. Made an old mistake walking down the streets today. Didn't want to be mean about it, but I didn't have one good word to say. Well, West LA fade away. West LA fade away. Little red light on the highway, big green light on the speedway. steady job, hauling items for the mall. Had a steady job, hauling items for the mall. The pay was pathetic. It's a shame those boys couldn't be more copacetic. I meet a West LA girl, already know what I need to know. Meet a West LA girl, already know what I need to know. Name, address, and phone number. Told you just how far to go. West LA fade away. West LA fade away. Little red light on the highway. Big green light on the speedway. Looking for a chateau, 21 rooms, but one will do. Looking for a chateau, 21 rooms, but one will do. I don't want to rent it, I just want to use it for a minute or two. Well, West LA fade away. West LA fade away. Little red light on the highway, big green light on the speedway. Little red light on the highway, big green light on the speedway. Little red light on the highway, big green light on the speedway.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic.
That was where they played it in
thanks.
July 17th, 1990 at Shea Stadium.
March 6,
That
2019.
was so great.
That was cool. I'm patting myself on the back when that
yeah,
was a good choice.
that
man.
was a really good
nice
choice.
job, man. Man, that was...
Normally one I wouldn't play all by my lonesome, but
Did you ever play that acoustic? Was that a first?
I play an acoustic. When I play solo, I have what they call a loop pedal.
Mm-hmm.
So
Les Paul, right? He invented that, right?
well, he invented overdubbing. Yeah, and looping. I guess he could have been one of those first tape guys that would have invented that. Yeah, but what it does is I could be playing when I sing. I record myself singing or playing, and then I store that. And when it
Right.
comes time to solo, I play it back. So it frees me up to actually
Right.
solo.
Yeah.
But we're
People
going
are
old school.
loving that.
We're going primitive acoustic sound here. Make it
What, crack
Joe
it on.
DeJesu said, "Great job,
Joe
Tom."
DeJesu. Joe was at the
Oh,
the
cool.
Bangladesh thing the other night. He did a super job. Oh yeah, and he announced the formation of the what they call it, the Wilbury.
Oh yes, yes,
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
That was great.
Joe,
Yeah,
my
that's gonna be
apologies.
great.
Oh, my
I mean,
apologies,
Ed,
Joe.
Ed on the bass.
Yeah. Wilbury Shuffle, was that it? I think that might be it. The Wilbury Shuffle.
Joe
Joe
got
did,
some guys from Wondrous Stories in it as
yes.
well, right?
Yep. Joe.
I don't know who, but maybe Kenny. Or...
Yeah, he didn't say. But Joe's been here a couple times. He's starting a Traveling Wilburys tribute band, but they're going to expand it to do, to play all the songs that the guys from that band are popular for, ELO songs.
Yeah, he did a great job.
Harrison Dillon.
When we were Fab.
Yeah, when we were Fab. Joe's a great musician. He does. I saw a video of him singing "If I Needed Someone" from something else, which was great. So Joe's
Frank
great.
did a great job that night too.
Frank did a nice job with it too. Yes, he did.
For Pete's sake.
Yes, that was cool. I think that's one of my favorite Monkey tunes. And speaking of Joe DeJesus, he's starting his radio show at Gov's Radio, not this Monday, the following Monday. Jam, it's called. Joe's Acoustic Mondays.
Ooh,
Jam. Yep, starting Monday, March 18th at Gov's Radio at 8 o'clock. So tune in and check out Joe. And he's going to be performing, and he'll have special guests. It's going to be great. So looking forward to that. Do you ever get tired of doing dead tunes? Like the Wonder Stories thing, was that like a breath of fresh air? You get to sing something else? And
I don't get tired of it, no.
No?
It was a breath of fresh air to do that other stuff, but I do so many different things throughout my schedule that it evens out.
So, and you, and now is it just Half Step and what was it,
Tiger Rose.
Tiger Rose.
They have a Facebook page. We primarily advertise through Facebook.
Okay. Now I know you do play with Ed Ryan quite a bit, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we do a Steady Tuesday thing together in Farmingdale.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
We've been playing together for over 30 years.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't know
we had that conversation on the show last time that he was in Wide Awake. We were in Wide Awake together.
That's it. That's right. I forgot. Okay. But actually, I just contacted him about coming on. Maybe in April, sometime in April, he's going to come on. But I thought he started with comedy first. Is that? And then maybe he was
somewhere in the middle
at the same
there.
time?
He juggled it back and forth, but he was always a singer and songwriter.
Oh, okay.
How did you start? Like, when did you start with guitar? Like,
Yeah,
how old were
actually, I
you
was about to ask that.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to steal your
no,
thunder.
it's all right.
I was just curious.
But
He's so, like, did you take, like, lessons from, because you're
mostly
so
by ear. I learned mostly
great.
by ear. I started when I was like 8 or 9 years old. And then by 10, I was writing songs with friends in school who also had the bug to be musicians. And then we just grew together, We would take lessons, share what we learned, put the record on 16 and listen real slow to figure out parts, and then, use your ears. And then when we were in high school, there was a good music program in my high school. So I learned music theory and then sang in the choir, played in the orchestra, played in the jazz band, just kept it going to the point where it all made sense.
Yeah, you got encouraged
Yeah.
from teachers and stuff.
How far did you get before you actually started lessons? Because that always amazes me. Because Frank did the same thing. Totally self-taught. I don't even remember him ever taking lessons. Maybe he might have later, but
I
that's
took
amazing.
lessons, I guess, too far into myself learning by ear. So I was never learning how to read music. The teacher would write something out and then he'd play it. And I'd hear how he played it. And then I'd play it the way I heard it. And he'd be going, "Oh, you're reading very well." But I would just stare at the page not knowing what I was looking at.
Mm-hmm.
And the more he tried to throw sheet music at me, the more I realized I was distracted by my hearing it instead. So I kind of broke away from just taking lessons. And
so you grabbed the guitar, and you would, based on what you were hearing, you were able to kind of form that, form the chord. So even if one finger was off, you'd pick that up. I mean, your ear, you must be perfect.
Well, as far as learning the instrument from the get-go, when you learn it, you learn the chords D and G and A and C, whatever those chords are. At least you have somewhere to start. If you hear a song on a record and, all right, well, it sounds like a G. If that's the note I'm hearing, then it must be that chord.
Okay.
Oh, it sounds funky. It must be a minor version of that chord. Your ears just grow to be a little more in tune with it.
So it's already a foreign language to me. So that's why it's amazing. It must be a minor chord.
Well, minor chords sound sad. Here, I'll give you a little lesson.
See, don't I always say that?
Yeah.
Here's your D chord. I want to go take a walk in the park. Isn't it so nice out? But oh no, it's raining.
Now you ruined my
But
mood.
now it's really going to ruin my mood to go, what do I do? I'm feeling diminished with my feelings right now.
That's great.
And then I could say, it's augmented.
Now he's using big words.
Yeah, it's like, I learned my Penn and Teller scales, and then...
Oh, well, a lot of musicians, they just go by ear, right? Isn't James Taylor like that? I read that, like...
Oh, is that right?
You'd be
some
surprised how many rock and roll
There's a lot of
icons
people that don't read sheet music.
don't read music.
Yet they're so precise,
Yeah.
you know, in their work.
Well, even Phil Collins, I mean, we're not talking chords, but Phil Collins used to do that too, working out like horn arrangements for his songs. He just had his own system, dots and lines. And I remember watching something where they actually showed one of his notes. Nobody could make heads or tails out of what this was, but he would then point it out to them. Oh, I want you to do this. This is what this means. And
But
he would explain
he's also
it to
a
them.
natural, he's one of those natural musician guys that, like, he got the gig in Genesis.
Yeah.
As soon as he sat behind the kit, the way he sat.
Yes, Peter Gabriel
He
said
just,
he just knew.
he's a pro. He knows how to,
Right. But he was smart too. He got there early.
Yeah, he sat in
So
the pool
he-
and listened.
Yeah, sat in the pool and listened.
Speaking of drummers, Lynn Riley wanted to know why you use one drummer instead of two in your band.
Oh, and half step?
Yeah.
Well, logistically, sometimes there's places that aren't. Like, for instance, KJ Farrell's. We love playing the place. We're there all the time, but we couldn't fit two drummers side by side in that room.
Right.
We'd have to move the riser to one side or take it out completely. That's one reason. The Dead also had a period where they were one drummer.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. So
Who? Because I thought they were Kreutzmann
Kreutzmann.
and Kreutzmann and Hart. I thought they were there from the beginning. No.
Well, no, they were around for about a year or two before Mickey Hart joined, and then Mickey Hart took a sabbatical for 4 years or so.
Oh, is that right? Oh, I didn't know that.
3 years, 2 years, I don't know.
When was that? In the 70s?
70s.
Oh yeah, I never knew that.
Like Europe 72, the album Europe 72?
Yeah, sure.
One drummer.
Oh, okay. Wow.
The other reasons, I don't know. Ask our drummer.
Yeah, what are you trying to say, Lynn?
She knows the answers, but she's just trying to get a little
Oh, is that right?
little banter going on the air here.
Lynn trying to start something up?
She wants to play the drums. That's what it is. She wants to be the second
Oh, is
drummer.
that it? Oh, does Lynn play drums? Does she play?
I don't know. Ken Pichelle asked, he said, theory question. Do any pop or rock bands use a lot of augmented or diminished chords?
Sure. Yeah. George Harrison was very familiar to the diminished chord.
Oh yeah.
Isn't it a pity? There's an ugly one, right?
Yeah.
The thing with a diminished chord, it sets up tension. It's an uneasy chord. So if you want to land on your feet, you go to a major chord after it.
Mm-hmm.
In that case, where isn't it a pity? Isn't it a shame? We break each other's hearts. You get that? It's like, tune in this week. It's that scary chord, and then resolves.
Oh, we're getting
Grateful
rusty.
Dead. Let's see. Since it costs a lot to win. Oh wait. Since it costs a lot to win, even more to lose. Just sneak it in there. I mean, they're used sparingly. Good answer? Bad answer?
I like it.
And what makes a diminished chord? I don't know.
Now you've. All right. So what was it about the Dead that spoke to you?
What was it about the Dead that spoke to me?
And how early or late did you discover them? Or like you already getting into music, or was it through them that you got into it?
No, I was into music. First, Beatles. The Beatles.
Okay.
My parents, and I lived in a two-family house where my aunt and my grandparents lived downstairs, and my aunt was of the age of Beatlemania, so I heard it in the house at a young age. Then that led to the Monkees, right? So now you have the imagery of like this boys club all being camaraderie. Here we are.
Goofy,
Yeah, so that led to wanting to play with a bunch of guys and kind of emulate that. So when you're 9 or 10 years old and you're pretending to be the Monkees or the Beatles, eventually we hit upon the real chords.
Mm-hmm. Right.
First it was just, hey, we're faking it. The Dead specifically, I have to say it was such a unique sound that I couldn't put my finger on. And the first time I heard them, I hated it.
Oh, really?
I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for it. I bought an album because of the cover. And it's a Grateful Dead record called Blues for Allah.
Oh, yeah.
And it's the skeleton playing the violin, you know, that very iconic picture. He's got the sunglasses in his hair. And just the cover alone made me buy the record.
That's cool.
I brought it home, and as soon as I put it on, it was just like, it was, I don't know, slow and gooey and not what I expected.
That's just how Sally describes me. Slow and gooey and not what she expected. Yeah.
But what was your cover? I'd love to find that out.
How old were you when you bought it?
Okay, I was 10 or 11.
Okay.
But then I listened to it again when I was 13. And I was like, these guys are doing something, I don't know what it is, and at the time I was a bass guitar player. I wasn't even a lead guitar player. I played guitar first, but took the bass on with a bunch of guys who didn't want to play the bass, so of course I got stuck doing it and enjoyed it. So Phil Lesh's bass style is very unorthodox. It's nothing like playing the roots, keeping the chord progression together.
Right.
He's running all over the chord changes and all harmonic different changes.
Right. Not as crazy as Entwistle, but kind of the same vein, if you know, like you said, because he's all over.
Yeah, he's playing more like lead guitar bass.
Right.
But
right.
less outspoken than Entwistle.
Right, but
John
that
Entwistle was more like, here I am, you know.
Right.
Phil was very subliminal.
Yeah, but that lead guitar bass style, that's what I meant.
So yes, yeah, I definitely can see a relation to, you know,
Thanks.
challenging bass players. Yeah, so that was it, and then, you know, starting to see the older brothers wearing the jerseys and seeing the steal your faces, and like, what is this thing that it had so much depth to it, so much art surrounding it, and I was an art major, so I was really in tune with all the artwork, and then I used to paint denim jackets. You know, here was another Jerry Garcia jacket I'm painting. Who, you know? Yeah. So it fueled my interest and my curiosity until they did come around to the Coliseum one year when I was old enough to go, at 15.
Wow, 15.
And it really did change my life. You know,
bet.
I got to say, you know, just the whole overall scene. It's very true. There's nothing like a Grateful Dead concert. Mm-hmm. And you know, the music is really the important thing with them. There's a lot of, you know, philosophies on what makes the Grateful Dead so unique for people, but the music was the real reason for me.
Sure. Yeah. This is cool. We have very similar stories. We too lived with an aunt who was into the Beatles, and she even gave us. She went to Shea. She gave us the ticket stub. Yeah. And that's how we discovered the Beatles. And yeah, same thing. Went to the Monkees and. But even, Blues for Allah was my first Dead album too. When you said it, because there's none of their really bigger songs are on that album.
Yeah, the Franklin's Tower, Roll Away the
Oh,
Blue.
okay.
That's the one that's probably the big one on there. Music Never Stops on there.
But yeah,
but the first track on that is Help on the Way, into the Slipknot Weird Jam and all, and that's
right.
One of my favorite pieces to play now, where that was the thing that turned me off.
Oh, okay, wow.
Go figure.
I know. I remember doing the same thing. Like, wow, it's nothing I've ever heard before. That it was a gift. A friend of mine gave it to me, but he gave me that in Terrapin Station, and I remember just listening to those albums over and over.
Their albums don't do them justice. That's the problem.
Yeah, you think?
They always felt very inhibited in the studio, and they couldn't really capture lightning in a bottle, so to speak, like they would live. Mm-hmm. Like Jerry's quote about recording was, you know, playing live is a rowboat on the open sea, where in the studio you're building a ship in a bottle. So there's a different.
Oh, okay.
You know, everything's looked at really, you know, meticulously, and they were more free about it. So the albums don't really capture that.
No, I like the studio stuff. I'm surprised. But I think, and which is in my opinion the case with a lot of bands, the lesser known stuff is sometimes the better stuff.
Right.
So that's one thing I personally found with them.
Well, if Eric were here right now, he would have a lot to say about that, wouldn't he?
Yes,
oh,
he
yeah.
would.
Damn out! They played in college over and over and over and over.
We've been going 46 minutes. This would have been 45 minutes and 30 seconds. Too much Grateful Dead.
I would have been playing Jimmy Buffett by now.
Yes, Eric is actually at the radio station right now.
Is he really?
He's.
I have to ask him how his Cher extravaganza went.
Oh, did he? He didn't go, right? They ended up not going, I think.
You
Isn't that what he
kidding?
said?
I don't remember.
Maybe he just made it up as an excuse to not see Half Step.
Oh, yeah, right? Maybe.
I'd love to go, but, got these obligations.
Cher.
Oh no, I didn't understand what you meant. Like share. I'm like share what?
The
You meant
Cher
share.
on
Yeah,
Broadway.
he actually his wife was she wanted to go really bad, and then when the time came, she got really busy, and she's just like, you know what? I just don't even want to go. And then so he offered it up to a lot of friends, and someone grabbed it. I think DB Frick grabbed it. And
Oh, yeah, you're right.
took
DB
his mom or
yeah.
something. Yeah.
But remember we told Eric we're gonna drag him on April 5th to Mulcahy's.
Yeah.
These guys, Half Step is playing with the
Oh, are you?
Almost Brothers
Great.
Band, which I'm really looking forward to. I love.
Yeah, that's
to
gonna
me,
be
that's a
good.
great night. Grateful Dead and Allman Brothers music. That's gonna be great.
What night is that?
April 5th.
Nice.
At Mulcahy's in Wantagh.
Friday, I guess.
Yes, that's a Friday. So now, if you don't mind me asking, and I think we did talk about some of this stuff on the radio show, but full-time musician, right?
Yeah.
So, and is it strictly from the cover, the tribute band, or do you do other things?
Well,
or-
I teach guitar.
Oh, you teach, okay.
I won't say I'm a professional recording engineer, but I know how to do my thing in my studio at home, and sometimes take on, guys that would want a demo or produce a couple of songs or whatever. So I do that. And then solo acoustic a couple of nights a week, and then the weekends I'm either with Dave Diamond or with Ed Ryan or Half Step or Tiger Rose. It's a up and down, topsy turvy kind of way to live, but.
Yeah.
I'm very grateful to be able to pull it off, and I'm happy.
That's
it's
the
what I
bottom
love
line.
to do, and
Right.
it's what I always knew I was meant to do. So as long as I can keep that on my priority list, then
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be able to.
I did work in the workforce for a long time as a graphic artist.
Right, I have that down on my list.
Did you?
Graphic artist, right there. See, graphic artist
Graphic
too.
artist.
I did my research. But yeah, that didn't work for you?
Well, to try to do the schedule of music around a day job was really hard as I got older. I did it with no problem in my 20s. I would work at the paper. It was a newspaper I would work for. And I would, work till 8 o'clock at night. I would do like 8 to 8, like a 12-hour shift, and then go straight to the bar. Start at 10, play till 3, because back in the day you had to play three sets till 3 in the morning.
Yep, that's right.
And then be back to work the next morning at 8. And then every time the phone rang, can you guys come and do a show Tuesday afternoon in Jersey? And I got to ask some guy, can I take off? And the more I took off, it was like, I don't know if we could do this. And at one point, my band got an opportunity to go on the road for a month. And we didn't know it was going to be a month. At first, it was just a week, and then a week became 2 weeks. And
Oh, wow.
so I had to go to my boss, and they needed an answer in one day, and I had to say, look, I got to take a leave of absence. I don't know what to tell you. So that got old, having to always feel like I'm juggling all this. And the music thing is...
And that's the thing, you can't pass that up, man. You got to do a tour. Like, that's
Right.
That's what it's all about, right?
Yeah, and the more you open yourself up to it, the more opportunities come that would warrant you having to be available all the time. So it kind of justifies it now.
Sure. Well, that actually kind of leads into a question too, because I've seen that you have worked with some big names. Was it Yorma or was it all of Hatuna or just Yorma?
Yorma, well, he's got a guitar camp. I don't know if you know that.
No, I had no idea.
He's got a place up in Ohio that he gives lessons and stuff. So,
Oh, okay.
so it was like a week long basic hang with Yorma on.
That's pretty cool.
What he does, and so yeah, that was the affiliation there. It wasn't really just him saying, "Hey Tom, let's jam." It was more like he gives lessons. I want to go learn.
You still spent the week with the man.
Yeah.
All right, but on was it Half Step's website or maybe? But yeah, Half Step's website. I read your bio. It does mention Dave Mason and Debbie Gibson together.
They were a
lovers.
lot of
They
those
were
were opening act spots.
That's all right.
My band was Ed Ryan and the Underdogs at the time. I was in a band, the Underdogs, and then we met Ed Ryan, and it was like the ketchup and the peanut butter. Oh, so let's make it Ed Ryan and the Underdogs. And
Which one would you be? The ketchup or the? No, never mind.
I'm the butter. So we had management at the time. Do you remember the place? I might be dating myself. Sundance.
Of course, I remember
Sundance in Bayshore,
Mm-hmm.
owned by Frank Cariola. Does that name ring a bell?
I don't think so.
Well, the owner of that club, he took a liking to us and he wanted to manage us. So part of his, process of getting us exposed was to make us the house band for whoever came to the Sundance.
Nice.
So we got the opportunity to open up for the Ramones, for Dave Mason, Otis Day and the Knights.
Otis Day and the Knights.
Who didn't show up. So
Really?
we wound up doing their spot and our spot.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's a band I haven't heard in a long time.
Yeah, they opened up for Cinderella,
Jeez.
Felix Cavalieri.
Oh, nice. You almost said Papalardi.
I almost did. But that was another project I was in.
Oh, you did something with him too? Yeah.
Well, I did something with the Vagrants, which was Leslie West's first band.
Yeah, sure.
So there's the tie in there with the Felix.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you're familiar with that band, the Vagrants, but they were like Long Island Giants in the 60s.
I am familiar.
And
me and Leslie, Fake Legs.
yeah. So they were looking to reunite the band in the early 2000s, and Leslie wasn't interested, so they hired me to be the guitar player.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was a great experience, playing with the Vanilla Fudge and
Vanilla Fudge. Did
Love.
you tell us?
Remember the band Love?
Yes, I do.
Played with those guys.
What was his name? Arthur or something, right? What was the main guy's name in Love?
Oh man, I can't never remember now.
Oh, okay.
And also Question and the Mysterians.
Oh no, I don't know that.
96 Tears. 96 Tears.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
But Vanilla Fudge. Did you tell us that at the radio show? Eric's favorite band.
Really?
Let's not tell
I
him.
actually, I still do little dribs and drabs of graphic design work, and
Oh, okay.
one of my jobs is to maintain the Cactus website for Carmine.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm kidding. Eric hates Vanilla Fudge.
Oh.
Hates. we always tease him because Tommy Marr.
Yeah. Of course.
Tommy Marr we know Tommy, and he used to tell us how he was friends with those guys. But Eric would be like, every single time, Eric would be like, who the fuck is Vanilla Fudge? I don't know what the hell he's talking about. And I played him, you keep me hanging on, and Eric hated it, so I rub it in his face all the time. And now Tommy Marr is actually mad at us for bringing it up all the time.
Yeah, he feels like
Sorry,
we were
Tommy.
teasing him. We were bullies.
So, forgive me, I tell this story all the time. People are probably sick of it, but did I tell you my Leslie West story? I don't know if I...
No, enlighten me.
It's a stupid story, but in '95, I'm a big Van Halen fan. So in '95, I was at Jones Beach to see Van Halen, and the opening band was an alternative band, Our Lady Peace, they were called. They were big for a little while in the alternative scene. Do you remember? I don't know if you remember Purple Haze music in Hicksville?
Yes, we had that discussion.
Oh,
I did
that's
in the
right.
store.
I keep forgetting.
That's okay.
They
You've done a lot of shows. You don't remember me.
Thanks. I should. They came into the store doing an in-store appearance. So I also was an art major. So I drew cartoons of them to promote them coming in. So they came into the store and they're like, "Wow, this is great. Who took these?" And they were taking pictures with the drawings. So I was like, "I drew it." Mm-hmm. And they said, "Oh, that's great." Here, I said, "Thank you. Here's backstage passes to our show at Jones Beach tonight. We're opening for VH."
Whoa.
Holy shit. So I go. Of course, it was like strict rules. You can only go see Our Lady Peace. Do not stray from this line, and you can only go into this room. Of course, we bolted.
Sammy wasn't sociable.
Well, actually, they all were. I
good.
met Sammy. I met Alex. Hanging out backstage, I bumped into people I knew, had a blast. But I'm a huge Van Halen fan, so I'd seen them already on this tour. I've seen them a million times. In fact, I'm one of the few that prefers Sammy over Dave. That's how much I love Sammy. But he's doing his acoustic number, and I had to go pee. So I don't know if they still have it, but at Jones Beach back then, if you had backstage passes, on the stage, they had these risers on both sides where the people with backstage passes go up these stairs and they sit on these big risers and they look down and watch the show. So I go down the stairs to go pee while Sammy's doing his acoustic number. I get down to the stairs. To my left is the stage, and Eddie Van Halen is standing right there. And there's this older fella sitting on a bench. I look to my right, there's nobody else. And I'm looking, I swear to you, this is true. It's just me and Eddie Van Halen and this older fella. So I'm like, holy shit. And I'm, I don't know, 24 or something. Stupid kid. And I don't even remember why, but I had a picture in my pocket of one of Eddie Van Halen's guitars. I pull it out, I go right up to him. can you sign this? Like an idiot. He's waiting to go out, you know, in the middle of a concert.
I'm a number one fan.
Yeah. Look, I mean, it was like a cartoon. He does one of these, you know, like you see, it's like, where the fuck this guy come from? He looks right at me, he goes, you gotta get the fuck out of here. Like that. So now I'm laughing right in his face. I even said, again, like a cartoon, I'm talking to like the fourth wall. I go, Eddie Van Halen just cursed at me. This old man, he wasn't old, but he looked old to me at the time. But he's just sitting there looking at us. With that, security all of a sudden they're coming from all directions.
Get him!
Yeah, and they did. They were running.
Swarm.
So immediately I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm dead. I put my hands up. So I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I'm sorry. I just have to go to the bathroom. And they did. They let me go. Nobody touched me. Nobody threw me out. I was shocked. So fast forward to the end of the show, right? I'm back up in the risers. They're coming out for their encore. And again, this is 95. Sammy Hagar comes out and he says, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a special surprise for you, a little something we never do before. And Eddie starts playing Mississippi Queen. Mm-hmm. Here comes that old man. It was Leslie West. But, you know, Leslie West was, you know, a big giant of a man. He had just cleaned up. He had lost all the weight, so I didn't recognize him. But he comes out and he's playing that riff and he's singing and he sounded great. I'm like, son of a bitch, it was me, Eddie Van Halen, and Leslie West.
I'm surprised Leslie was mellow and quiet.
He's not a nice fella.
Yeah, he's been known to be a little bit abrasive, but
So that's me, Eddie Van Halen, and Leslie West.
I saw Van Halen once. Not that I didn't like it. I happened to see them once, and it was Diver Down.
Oh wow, yeah.
Coliseum.
That's what, 82?
Yeah, I guess 82.
Wow.
And I do remember seeing Eddie Van Halen drop kicking a bunch of Marshall stacks that were hollowed out.
Yep.
No speakers in them. It's just like for show.
Oh yeah.
So that set me back a notch. Like, oh, really? He's got fake speakers up there. Okay. And then Michael Anthony's.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
His bass solo was basically him rolling around on the stage. And I'm thinking, wow.
Yeah, just making noise.
Not hearing too many notes there. It's just like, flah, flah, flah.
Yeah. While drinking the Jack Daniels or something.
But they were good. Powerful.
Where the hell was I? I looked on Facebook. You recently went to England.
Yes.
Was that?
Yeah.
Was that work or music work related or vacation?
It was a little of everything.
Yeah.
Well, Ed Ryan was asked to go over there. An organized tour was to go and visit Liverpool and London, hit all the Beatle landmarks.
Nice. And
Ed would play on the bus going to and from.
Oh wow!
And an afternoon concert at the Cavern and the Casbah Club and.
That's cool.
So they were, getting people to come on board to do this thing, and I went as a guest. Me and my girlfriend, we said, let's go and get to see England.
Cool.
I've been there a few, half a dozen times because my dad used to work for Virgin Airlines.
Oh, okay.
So I had the flight privilege growing up.
That's
and
nice.
I've been there a bunch of times, but my girl never went. So we went together, and being that me and Ed are so close musically, bring your guitar. So I brought my guitar, and then wherever he ended up playing, I was, would sit in and play with him. So that was cool.
Yeah, that was really cool.
I had a friend who had an English friend come to America once and see Half Step, and he's a deadhead.
Oh, nice.
An English deadhead who was, mate, if you're ever in England, look me up, So I remembered, hey, Peter, how you doing? I'm in England. And he was like, oh, well, we should get together. He goes, at the end of the week, there's a Dead tribute band that's playing here. Would you come in and sit in? And I said, well, look, I don't know what my schedule's going to be. We're on this tight tour thing, but we will be back in London that night, and depending on what goes on, maybe I'll come down and hang out.
Sure.
The next morning, I wake up, I look on Facebook, and there's a poster made appearing.
No way.
Tom San Filippo from New York, Half Step, one night only, with a picture of Walt Whitman. I guess it must have been, it was tying the Long Island thing with the poster.
No way.
So they made up these posters
That's who they picked.
that I was performing with this band. So I call them back and I'm like, I said I can come and maybe hang, but to play with them I would need to have an electric guitar and an amp and don't worry, mate, we'll get it for you. We'll make it happen, So
wow.
I wound up playing at the Cavern, playing at the Casbah, and then playing with a dead band in some club that was the equivalent to like a Mulcahy's but smaller.
Right. Yeah.
all in 1 week, which was really cool.
That's crazy that they made
That is
and
so
then they use
funny.
all women.
What's your girlfriend? You're like, well, I'm working tonight. She'd be
Oh,
like,
she was all for it.
What?
You know, we were excited to go and you know, see English Deadheads, which you know,
That's rare, I
kind of
think, yeah.
strange. It was like a
Yeah.
bizarro
Did
world.
they pay you?
No, but they
Oh, really?
they didn't pay me. No.
You know, it's funny though because we went to England a little over 2 years ago, which absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
Went to Abbey Road.
It was a big deal for us.
Oh.
Like
Did you
we-
go
we
in Abbey Road
haven't
or
done
just
anything
walk
like
the
that.
street?
We got up the steps.
We hung out there a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got up the steps and immediately got thrown out. But I got a couple of pictures on the steps, so I was
Nice.
happy.
I went in there and it was 1984, and I was with my family.
Oh, you did the tour?
No,
Oh.
we did just walked up there and I knocked on the door and they're like, we can't let you in because Billy Squire's recording.
Billy Squire.
And I didn't. I guess that was his big year, '84, right? So I knew who he was when they
Yeah.
said it, and I was like, well, can I still like just watch him? You know?
The
As-
MTV videos of him, I remember.
yeah,
Dancing on his bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. I'll never forget. That was the first time I ever bought tickets for $15 each, scalping outside. Like, you know, my girlfriend wanted to at the time in high school or junior, I forget now, but it was Billy Squire and Def Leppard,
Yeah,
if you remember.
I do remember.
And
so
I bought a
remember
pair of
from
tickets for
going-
$30, and I was furious. I was like, I can't believe I spent $30
Yeah.
from a scalper.
Now
And
we- now we
all
spend
Billy
it on
Squire
hairstyle.
really did was just kind of wiggle his butt. You know,
Yeah.
he had the guitar dangling, and he was just like,
He had a good bud, I recall.
well,
Yeah.
that was his selling point. I
That's
didn't.
nice.
Pam
It wasn't worth
Murkoff
the $30 to see.
Pam
his-
Murkoff's from
But-
England. She said she's an English deadhead.
Oh, right
Oh,
on,
yeah?
right on. Does she know
Pam's
Peter
cool.
Williams?
Do you know Peter Williams, Pam?
Well, yeah, because that was the thing when we went. We there's a good friend of ours who, in England. His name is Elio Pace, which, by the way, he's got a new album out, a live album of all Elvis tunes. Go check it out. And Pam, you gotta go see him, right? He's touring right now in England. He was when I try to describe him to people. He was a band leader on a show. He's almost like a Paul Schaefer on a BBC show. That was kind of like his claim to fame. So he still tours around. He sells out theaters. He has a Billy Joel show. He has an Elvis show. Fantastic, and he's one of our closest friends. So we went to go see him. He's been here several times. We went to go see him. But now he started this thing last year where he's also doing full album shows of Billy Joel, right? Mm-hmm. So it's funny because you mentioned how they made this poster, Half Step, this all the way from New York. Well, when he does these album shows, he brings in this guitar player named David Brown, who was in Billy's band, and he's on most of the hits that you hear Billy Joel. David Brown is the lead guitar player. But here, in the States, very few people would give a shit. Like they don't. Most people don't care. And believe me, I'm not one of them. I appreciate all the musicians, and I'm not knocking David Brown. I think he's great, but unfortunately, most people wouldn't care. They just want to go see the music. They don't care who's playing.
Right.
But over there, when he's doing these full album shows, it was a big deal to put David Brown's face and to say featuring David Brown, guitar player for Billy Joel. And it was
They
a
don't
big
have
deal.
David Brown over there. That's a big thing.
Yeah, but like,
Oh, you know who?
Well, that's
oh,
what I
sorry.
felt.
Did you
Like, what
finish
was
your?
right? That's what I'm saying. I think it's funny over there. They seem to appreciate American musicians and music almost like we are with the Beatles here.
Right.
Like again, Elio's a huge Elvis guy, and he said that, and he's a big Glenn Campbell, Tom Jones. He loves all that American stuff.
Yeah.
Where here we're more, I feel, a lot of the classic rock guys are Beatles, Who, Stones. He claims it's not like that over there. I don't know. So that's what made me think of that when you.
Grass is always greener,
The bass player for Queen plays in Elio's band.
Yeah, the current bass player for Queen.
I was going to say, it wouldn't be.
Yeah, it wouldn't be John Deacon. All right, so we've been going for a little over an hour now.
Has it been that long already?
It
Jeez.
has.
Time
It
flies.
It is fun.
quick.
Time
It's
flies.
fun, isn't it?
It is.
So what we do at this point, for those of you who watch every week, we do random trivia. It has nothing to do with anything. Just pick some random trivia questions. We ask them to you guys, and our regular viewers, they get into it, and they try to answer these questions fast, and they like to brag who has
Yeah,
got
you
the
don't have to
answer
feel
first.
pressured because everyone writes
No
down.
pressure, yeah. So
Okay.
we'll all just sit here and do it together. I ask the questions. I don't give the answers until we're done with the questions. And then we go back and we go through them. However, I'm going to do some of these questions. And then we're going to do a little twist on these trivia questions. Going to surprise Tom. We're going to mix it up a little bit. But then once we're done, we'll get another song before we call it a night?
Sure.
All right, cool. All right, so here we go. Random trivia. Again, feel free to answer the questions. A lot of our guys here, they just like to, jump on board, see if they can be the first one to answer. We go through all the questions, and then we go back and do the answers. Some of them are easy. Some of them might not be. Some of them are stupid. So here we go. All right. What famous book begins with chug, 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 puff, puff, puff?
I got it up there.
Do you really? Why?
Is it the railroad, the train thing?
The train thing. Yes, that's it. That is the title. The train thing.
On the road?
Is it?
No. Who said? This is a multiple choice question. Who said? And I quote: "I've watched a lot of baseball on the radio." Who said it? Is it Yogi Berra? Is it Gerald Ford? Is it Farrah Fawcett? Or Anna Nicole Smith? Tough one.
What was the second one?
Gerald Ford. Let's see. What popular band is named for a hallucinogenic treat made by one of the band members' grandmother? And it is not the Grateful Dead. Let's see. Okay. What was the first sport in which women were invited to compete in the Olympics? Nothing, huh?
I thought you were going to say all the questions.
You can answer. You can answer anytime you want. I don't tell you if you're right or wrong until later on.
Well, would that be track?
No.
Running? No.
No. Good thing I asked you if you had an answer.
Well, good thing I didn't have one. Ask me Beatle trivia or something. I know it.
Well, all right. Hang tight. Hang tight.
No, you shouldn't have to go easy on me. I get it.
What sport was the first to be filmed, and who filmed it? That's a hard question, but it's actually an interesting answer. All right, this one you'll know. Who did Elton John originally duet with on "Don't Go Breaking My Heart"?
Kiki D.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to throw in some easy ones.
And where is she now?
Yeah, where is she now? I have no idea. You think she made a living off the royalties of that one song? Some people do, right? One hit wonders.
What was her one song?
That was it. No.
See them? They made her to be some kind of special duet, and she had no claim to fame for herself. So
Yeah, I wonder how she landed that role.
I wonder if it was like a contest, a housewife contest for Reader's Digest or something.
Yeah, true. Yeah. But she did come back. Remember, she sang. Remember, Elton did a duets album in the '90s, and she was on that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it. Thank you, Elton.
So she did the same thing twice.
Right. Who was the richest African American of the 20th century? Is it Stevie Wonder, Oprah Winfrey, or Nelson Mandela?
Oprah.
In the cartoon Peanuts, Schroeder is a big fan of whose music?
Beethoven, yeah.
All right, here we go. Jerry Garcia was named after who?
Jerry Garcia?
Jerry Garcia.
Was named after who? Jerome? It was a jazz guy. I can't think of his name now.
You call yourself...
Yeah, this is I remember being like a jazz guy.
I am shocked and stunned there, Tom San Filippo.
I'm shocked and stunned that you gave me that question.
How did the Grateful Dead choose their name?
Dictionary.
True or false? Jerry Garcia did musical and sound effects for the movie Invasion of the Body Snatchers. True or false?
True, and he also made a cameo in the movie.
Oh, that I didn't know. He did?
He was the guy on the porch with the banjo, and the dog walked by with the human head.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if it's been a long time since I've seen that one. All right. So should I do the answers?
Unless I dreamt that as a
And
kid.
then, yeah, do the answers
Do the
first
answers
and then
and
do
then
this.
we'll do
Yeah,
a little
I would do
surprise?
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What famous book begins with chug, 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 puff, puff, puff?
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
The little engine that could.
So what was the, yes?
You said the train thing.
Yeah.
That's not the title.
Oh my goodness!
The
Yeah,
same thing.
I'm so getting credit for that.
All
I
right,
take
half
credit for that.
You
No,
get half.
full.
Chug, chug, puff, puff. Can mean a lot
90%
of
credit.
things there.
Well, that was my little
I was
trick
thinking
there.
Hunter S. Thompson right away.
Yeah. Who said I watched a lot of baseball on the radio? Was it Gerald Ford, Yogi Berra, Farrah Fawcett, or Anna Nicole
It
Smith?
sounds like such a Yogi Berra thing to say, but why would he watch it on the radio when he's playing it?
Right.
So then that would lead me to being thinking it would be Anna Nicole Smith or
Or Farrah Fawcett or Gerald Ford.
no, I don't think Gerald Ford would be that dumb. Or am I wrong?
You are.
It's Gerald Ford.
The answer is
That's
Gerald Ford.
what I thought.
Holy
That was
cow.
my guess.
Yep.
All right, well,
What popular band is named for a hallucinogenic treat made by a member's grandmother?
I want to say Pearl Jam,
There you go.
Wow.
Very nice.
Nice.
but
Eddie Vedder's grandmother, her name was Pearl, and the hallucinogenic preserves she made was from peyote.
you can't get any better than that.
Oh man.
Oh, I have never heard that. That was awful,
Thank
but
you.
I loved it. Did you make that up?
I think somewhere along the way. You know.
That is
we used
awesome.
to always when we were on the road to kill time, we would come up with these. little
My
pun
son's
names, you
really
know.
into puns and
Like
yeah.
let me think of one like.
Oh, I'm definitely using
It
that.
makes
It's
us so
bad.
angry.
That's good. How do we? Something like that is so obvious.
I
How do you not-
know.
Wow. That's
I'm trying to
good.
think of one I could say like. I had Doris Day. That's my lawn green.
I can't even follow that up.
Yeah.
Which was the first sport in which women were invited to compete at the Olympics? Tennis at the 1900 Games in Paris.
That sounds about.
That makes sense.
And was it what's her face?
Billie Jean King.
Yeah.
Yes, in 1900. Yes.
Notice how we knew when I said what's her face. We got it. The one with the glasses.
It's the only, it's the only old tennis player I know.
Yeah.
What sport was the first to be filmed, and who filmed it? Anybody getting any of
Was
these?
it baseball?
No.
Not so.
I thought it was too.
Not so far.
And it wasn't
Oh, yeah.
boxing.
Has anyone gotten any?
It wasn't what?
Boxing?
It was boxing.
Lynn Riley got boxing.
She did? Did she get who filmed it?
Nope.
The year was 1894.
And who would have filmed it?
The boxing match between Jack Cushing and Mike Leonard, filmed by Thomas Edison.
How about
How do you
that?
like that? Learn something new every day. Kiki D sang "Don't Go Break My Heart" with Elton John.
Lynn
Oprah
Riley got that too.
Yeah, Oprah Winfrey is the richest African American of the 20th century.
Yeah, I figured.
Beethoven is Schroeder's favorite music. Jerry Garcia was named after. Jerry Garcia's full name is Jerome John Garcia, named after Broadway composer Jerome Kern.
Oh
wrote-
yeah. Steve Frezzi got that.
He wrote more than 700 songs, including "The Way You Look Tonight," "Smoke Gets in Your Eyes," and "Old Man River."
Yeah, Jerry plays those.
Oh, does he? "The Way You Look Tonight" he plays, really?
No, he does the other one, Smoke Gets in Your
Oh,
Eyes. And
Really? "Old Man River" I can understand. The Grateful Dead got their name just randomly from looking through a dictionary. Jerry did sound effects, and apparently was in the movie Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yeah, don't quote me on that. I remember someone saying it, and I don't think I've seen the movie since, but
Oh, okay.
I want to say that it's true.
Sounds good.
Maybe Google that part. Did
Sure.
Jerry make an appearance?
Lynn Riley's gotten most of these.
Is that right? Mm-hmm. All right, so now we have a little surprise, because you are a Beatle man, and we are doing trivia.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to test your Beatle trivia.
Lovely.
Sally's got the Trivial Pursuit.
So let me tell you, when I first met Tony, he told me, oh, he likes the Beatles. So for a gift, I got him this Beatles trivia thing, not understanding quite how much he knows about the Beatles. So it was so funny because at first I'm like quizzing him. I'm
You
like,
think you're gonna stump him?
I'm thinking, like, at first I'm like, well, I don't want him to feel bad, so I'll pick the ones that, like, you know, I know he'll get. And then after a while, I was like, then it got to the point where I was like, well, where did they get the haircut from? Like, I was surprised. And before I turned over the answer, it was something like, such and such's
Yeah.
girlfriend was
Yeah. See, he knows.
Yeah, and I was like, so I thought he was messing with me. I turned around, it was exactly what he said.
So,
He had the game ready. He didn't have the heart to tell you.
no, you're going to ask.
Oh, I thought you pick out ones that you thought might stump him. Or you're
Everybody's
gonna,
using
I'm
the word
gonna
stump. I
you.
think you're all making fun of me. So, it's on. Tom San Filippo is going head to head with me on some Beatle trivia.
Oh God.
And I thought this would be a tough competition, but
It might be.
he didn't even know who Jerry Garcia was named after. So now I'm thinking this might not be so hard after all. So we'll do, I don't know, we want to do just one card? Because there's what, like 5 questions on it, right?
Yeah, there's 6 questions on each.
Oh, there you go. So
one.
we'll just do one card,
All right.
and then we'll get one more song, and then we'll call it a night.
And then we'll shut it off and have real serious conversation.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Where you'll tell us all your fun stuff.
All the Grateful Dead, all
Well,
the Deadhead.
I didn't know I
creepy
could say
stories.
that on the show. Who offered the Beatles a then record amount to play one concert in his hometown?
You said Bernstein Shea Stadium or Carnegie Hall, was it? Am I wrong?
Mm-hmm.
I was wrong. Good.
I don't.
In his hometown.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Who offered the Beatles a then record amount to play one concert in his hometown?
Imelda Marcos. Well, that's a woman.
Charles Finley.
Oh, I've never heard that. Wow, we both said.
That's a good one.
Wow.
And what was his hometown?
Yeah. What? Does it say?
Nope.
Levittown.
And they probably never did it. He asked and they said no. So
Right.
that's why we don't know about it.
There you go.
What is the only UK Beatles album released in the 1960s that does not include a Ringo lead vocal?
Let It Be.
No. Hard Day's Night.
Yep.
But he doesn't sing on anything on Let It Be. No, I'm going to argue this. He doesn't sing anything on Let It Be.
But he doesn't sing anything on Hard Day's Night either. What did
So
you
the
say?
question's
Early
wrong.
60? What?
It says it's the.
Let It Be
is
came
the,
out in 1970.
Yes, there you go.
Son of a stupid.
Oh well. He did get his little instrumental, This Boy, though.
There you go. They called it Ringo's theme, but he doesn't sing. Oh, now she's picking the questions. She's going through different
Well, I'm
cards.
picking because like they're different colors, so I'm kind of sticking with.
Red is the color.
What 3 countries
Yes, it
did the
is.
What 3 countries did the Beatles play during their 1965 European tour?
What 3 countries did they play?
Mm-hmm.
Paris. I mean, France.
France.
No, that was
What year?
64.
65?
Mm-hmm.
It would be
The European tour.
European tour.
Paris,
Germany.
England, and Germany.
Well, would England count?
Why wouldn't it?
Nope.
What the?
It wasn't the
France is one.
France and Germany was one, right?
Mm-mm.
They didn't play Germany.
Well, maybe they're not.
What?
The European tour.
Well, yeah, Germany's in Europe.
Yeah, 1965 European tour.
Right. Well, I know France.
Right,
Want me
yeah.
to just tell you?
France?
Yeah, why not?
France, Spain, and Italy.
Ooh, that's right. Lennon wore the hat in the Spain show.
Mm-hmm.
He had the
And then in
sombrero.
Italy they put out an album called The Beatles in Italy. Yeah, you don't remember that? I do.
What folk singer from Minnesota?
Jerry Garcia.
Does-
Dylan.
Yes. Does
Zimmerman.
Paul mimic in Rocky Raccoon? Bob Dylan.
Oh, is that right?
Is that what he's trying to do there?
I never heard that.
Really?
Said what folk singer from Minnesota does Paul mimic in Rocky Raccoon?
I never
Bob
heard
Dylan.
that. Wow, we suck at this.
No, you guys don't.
No.
Frank Walker would have gotten all these.
Folk singer Minnesota. That's how I got it. I
Yeah.
don't know of him imitating him on that song. But
I never heard that story. Yeah.
I thought he was doing like a country western voice.
Right, that's what I thought.
Setting up the saloon story.
Right. Wow.
That's wrong.
Yeah. Stupid game.
What 2 consecutive Ringo singles?
Photograph and You're 16.
Yeah, I didn't even finish.
Because he didn't have many.
The question
Back
is,
with Boogaloo and
yeah, it topped all 3 charts.
Wow. All right, give us one more. How did you meet Frank, by the way? Through Ed? Because he goes back with Ed for a while.
yeah, I remember like the Bunnery or one of those.
Oh,
when they were the
wow.
Friedels.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
On the Beatles Christmas album,
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
What year?
doesn't say.
Well, they were all singles, and then the album
Yeah, it
came
was
out at
all-
the end.
Well, they didn't have an album. It was just more like for the fan club every year they would.
Right, but then after they broke up, they made an album and put them all on there.
Did they?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Go ahead. What's the question?
What Beatles song is sung by Tiny Tim?
Oh, Nowhere Man.
Yep.
On that Christmas album?
Yeah, the 67 Christmas single, I think it was. Yeah, at the very end, George comes on. He says, "We have a special guest," and Tiny Tim sings "Nowhere Man."
Interesting.
I'm a geek.
Well, that was fun.
That was fun. Tom San
That
Filippo
was
is here.
fun. Can't believe it's over.
I know, it's crazy.
know.
It does it. I mean, it's almost 10:30. Even the trivia took 20 minutes. So thank you, Tom, for being here. This
Oh,
was fun.
thank you. It was my
We have a
pleasure.
lot of fun both times with Tom at the radio station and here.
A lot more tame and
Yes, this is-
homey right about now.
Yes,
here.
this is a much more relaxed atmosphere than the radio show.
I wasn't put on the spot with Knock the Deadhead Radio.
That's good. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people
Right in
don't.
the wolves' den there.
A lot of people don't know what they're walking into there. But that's where you can hear us every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. The Knockem Comedy Radio Show on govsradio.com. Lots of great shows on govsradio.com. So you can hear us. You can hear lots of other shows there. You can see us every Thursday here at 9 o'clock on Thursday night with Tony and Sally. And you can see Tom, let's see, this Friday at Bo's Bar?
Yeah, Bo's
Bo's?
Bar in Green Lawn.
Green Lawn. Is that
Kind of
half
a-
step or is that?
It's half step, yes. It's kind of a deadhead bar mecca for Long Island.
Oh, nice. Wow, I didn't know
But
that was
before
such
that show, I'm doing a double. I'll be playing at Mr. Beery's for my usual Friday happy hour, 5:30 to 8 p.m.
a- Nice.
Then I do my Phil Collins thing and take a Learjet over to Green Lawn, do my second show. And I also want to plug a brand new venue for Half Step this Sunday. It's a matinee in
RJ
Rockville
Daniels.
Center.
Yep. RJ Daniels.
RJ Daniels.
Nice.
It's kid friendly.
It's a good place. I've been there.
Oh yeah.
Yep, good place. I like it.
Yeah, we're gonna have some fun there on Sunday.
And Mulcahy's April 5th with the Almost Brothers Band. halfstepgd.com. So you can get, you guys sell merchandise, if I recall.
Yep.
You can get their full schedule. And speaking of Mr. Beery's,
Mm-hmm.
Tony, how do you say his last name?
Walker.
Chirano?
Yeah, Tony Chiriano.
Chiriano. That's it. He's, I know Tony. He heard you were here tonight. He asked me to say hello.
Good man. We do a benefit for him every year for his little league.
Right. Well, that's where I know him from. We coach together.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep. Had no idea that you guys knew each other until today. I don't know if he's watching or not, but hope you're feeling all right.
Hey,
He's got a
Tony.
he's got a little
Tony.
health scare going on, but I hope he's doing okay.
Huh?
So all the best to him. And once again, halfstepgd.com.
And my own website is Flip Trax, FLIPTRAX.com.
What does that mean? Flip tracks. What does that mean?
Well, I have tracks of my music on there, and I'm saying Filippo, so I made.
See, I didn't even get that. Man, I'm slow today.
Yeah,
You have originals?
I do.
You do?
You should play out with one of
Yeah.
them.
You want to play out with an original or not?
I would.
Yeah. All right. Cool. That'd be great. I don't think we've never heard one, right?
I did my parody one on the.
Oh, the parody.
Oh,
Like,
that
yes.
was so funny.
That was funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now, all right. So, and I know we're gonna get going, but the originals, are they available somewhere?
I have a CD on Spotify.
Oh, okay.
It's old. It's old now. Almost 10 years old, if not more by now.
That's all right.
But somehow it ended up on Spotify and iTunes. I know, just it's the way it goes now with all these digital downloads and all.
Yeah.
And the album's called Mind Field. So if you search that,
Ringo has a song called My Field.
Mind, like your mind field.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Mine, M-I-N-E. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I'll shut up.
And lately I've been recording and writing music with a friend of mine who's also a half-step sound man. He's a lyricist, so we've been doing some stuff together.
Cool.
Maybe I'll do one that we wrote together. It's a country song. As
Wow.
traditional country as we could get, I guess. And it's called The Lover Man That Can Never Be.
Sounds like
lives a little country girl, and she sits on the back porch just for me. And she's there most every night in the sun's fading light, for the lover man that can never be. 'Twas the thought of 41 when the long end of a gun served an innocent man with hot lead. I was foolish, I was young, and it wasn't very long till I woke up with a price on my head. From the back roads to the rails, every dusty hobo trail, I spend my days thinking of you. How I long for you each night, dreamt of holding you tight, a dream that may never come true. 'Cause in a house upon a hill, there's a little country girl, and she sits on the back porch just for me. She is there most every night in the stars' twinkling light, for the lover man that can never be. On the night that I had fled, oh, the tears that we had shed, the Rio Grande would have overflown. Now the night is dark and long as I sing this mournful song, trying to shake this heavy load. If you listen to my plight, I relive it every night, 'cause a pistol has two business ends. You'll be looking down your back with every bark and every crack, a train whistle, your only friend. It's in a house upon a hill lived a little country girl, and she sat on the back porch just for me. She was there most every night in the sun's fading light, for the lover man that can never be. Yes, she was there most every night in the sun's fading light, for the lover man that can never be. For the lover man that can never be.
Nice.
Nice.
Well, thank you.
I like that. That was cool.
Scott Vitt was his name, by the way. I didn't mention my collaborator's name.
Very nice.
Thank you.
You know who he's friends with on Facebook?
Who?
Tim Carney.
Tim Carney was watching tonight.
Oh, was he?
He was.
The Tim Carney.
He was
Tim
voyeuring.
Carney.
He didn't have anything to say.
He just screams Tim Carney.
You also know Robin Morgan.
I do.
I know Robin. She was my son's teacher at Bosse's.
Yes, AV chick.
Yeah.
She knows all about video and audio.
Oh, John Blenn, he knows.
John Blenn, yeah.
John Blenn's a good man. I'm in his play next week. I'm in his
cool.
latest play.
He came to see Dave Diamond's band a few months back over at the Tilly Center.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Got to
He's
see
a really
him.
nice man.
Oh,
Yeah,
he's
very
great. Yeah.
Remember back in the day at the brokerage?
Mm-hmm.
Used to play at the brokerage all the time.
All the time. Yep. All right. So that's
All right, that's us. We're signing off now.
next week. I almost forgot to mention next week. Next week we're going to have with us Laura Donahue is going to be with us. She is a how would we describe Laura? She is she's like a woman empowerment, inspirational speaker thing going on. But Bobby Donahue, who's been on the show many times from Planet Bonehead, he has the cartoon going. He's always stealing her spotlight, so now she's going to be here. She's going to tell us about what she's got going on. So that is next week. Thank you, guys. We'll see you.